There we go. I'll just pick up on a couple of key points. First of all, we know that this whole carbon issue and climate change will not go away. We've heard that from our first two speakers. It's going to intensify. It's all very geeky, as somebody said, but this whole story is going to intensify within corporate thinking. That's the first thing. Secondly, we have developed with Jonathan Tame what's essentially a very simple way of addressing carbon and climate change within your sector. And it's in our interests, very much in our interests, that you make inroads in your markets with products which do environmental good, because it feeds back into us so we can apply it on the ground. Now, so who are we and what do we bring? Essentially, we are the deliverers. So I'm going to tell you a bit about World Land Trust. We are all about projects. We deliver essentially promises to people on the ground. That is our job. And for you, we bring integrity as an organization, effectiveness on the ground, and the confidence on your part that as you make claims to your public, we are behind you making it work on the ground in a compelling project which actually does what it says. So I'm going to actually show a video. It's a bit of a puff because it comes from our 25th anniversary. And here we go, hopefully.
I support the World Land Trust because they have clear, simple, achievable objectives.
They get things done. What do they get done? They actually acquire, buy land.
In India, Zambia, Paraguay, Brazil and Belize.
You buy land, you protect species. By protecting that land, you give the wildlife that lives on it a chance to survive and even thrive.
And it's land which otherwise might be destroyed.
When it comes to conservation, they're very pragmatic. They know what they want to do and they do it. And from that point of view, I'm very keen to support them.
WLT now is a major factor in many parts of the world, channeling funds and help and expertise into those areas where they are so badly needed, but leaving the ultimate control in the people who live on that land 365 days of the year. Conservation has been transformed. WLT is at one of the cutting edges of that transformation. And those of us, and all of you, and you here, involved in WLT can congratulate yourselves on this 21st anniversary and this great shift in understanding of what has to happen if conservation is to work. So I congratulate WLT and particularly all those who work for it, including John Burton, and particularly you who support it. If there is one shaft of light and hope in looking ahead at what's going to happen. It is, in my view, that which you see when you see the history of our World Land Trust and of the change in attitude in the World Land Trust and the generosity which people who help the World Land Trust have helped it to spread its influence worldwide. So congratulations to the fund, and thank you all very much indeed.
Well, I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of the ethos. That was the idea of it. Yes, we are a biodiversity wildlife conservation organisation. We're all about saving habitat. We're all about natural habitat, so natural forest in this case. And we operate on the ground through partners. We have a network of partners. Some of these we've been working with continuously for 25 years, so these are true partnerships, negotiations all the time. We work together, develop all manner of things. And we have a good spread around the world, each one represented by a partner and then a cluster of projects around a partner. So there's quite a lot of depth here. What are the threats? Why do we do it? Land use change. That top one there, I hope I'm going to press it. Oh yeah, that's Paraguay. That is one man's land. Each one of those is 800 acres. So that's ranching. This one at the bottom, another project area. This is palm oil, breaking up forests with orangutans in them. And among the spread of things that we do is the carbon balance program. Now this, very simple, it is offsetting. We are unapologetic offsetters for this. Basically, the emissions from producing the paper is offset by us protecting forests which would otherwise be cut down and encouraging its growth actually from a degraded state. That is the mechanics behind it. Very simple, straightforward. There's one of the sites, that's actually Vietnam. All the places we choose, there are places in Ecuador where we're doing this, in Paraguay we're doing this, Vietnam is the one that's important for the moment. All key sites for their biodiversity, for their wildlife, compellingly so. So I'll bring you to Kay Nuk Chung. Among this whole array of, and that is how it's pronounced, by the way, looks nothing like it, I know. Among the array of projects, this is the one where we are concentrating the carbon balance paper input and where we are balancing the emissions from. But first of all, we'll just, we'll show you another video so you can see the site. You can see the end product and where the promise is delivered.
Kay Nuk Chong is a reserve in the north centre of Vietnam in the Annamite mountain range. The Annamite mountain range runs down the spine of Vietnam into Laos and into Cambodia. It's lowland tropical rainforest and it's situated between a national park to the south and a stretch of forest to the north. Lowland forest tends to be more threatened than forests that are slightly higher elevations, simply because it's easier to get to, so it's always the first to go with loggers, expansion, agriculture. The forests are unique in that they are actually home to 4 recently discovered and quite large mammals. One of these is the critically endangered sowler, which is actually one of the rarest mammals in the world. It's very elusive and seldom seen. And There's at least 10 species of amphibians and reptiles found in the forest that are listed on the IUCN's Red List of Threatened Species. Caino Chung's designated as a watershed protection forest. It's one of the ecosystem services that it provides is water to local communities and downstream rice paddies. A watershed protection forest means that you're not allowed to log and you're not allowed to poach, but you are allowed to take non-timber forest products like palm leaves for subsistence, so local people can use the forest. In Vietnam, you don't own land, all the land is owned by the state, but there is a 30-year lease in the middle of Caino Chung, and the Carbon Balance Programme will provide funding to protect the wider 20,000 hectares, which is warranted by its exceptional biodiversity level at both a national and global scale.
So, it's not just about carbon either. It's about biodiversity. There's a compelling biodiversity story. Protecting forests cover a lot of things, apart from the carbon, which enrich the story, which both for yourselves as people who are putting carbon balance paper forward, and of course for the company who is buying it. They get a rich story. Quite how rich is quite astonishing with this particular place. That's a picture of it. Just mentioned 4 recently described and rare species of mammal, including some of the rarest in the earth. There are 38 red book species in this one forest. That's a thing. I've lived in conservation all my life. I've never been to a place like that. 4 of them are critically endangered. These are species which are imminently going to go extinct if this is not protected now. And you are the means of it being protected. Birds, yes. Edward's pheasant, not seen in the wild for over 12 years now. Last seen in this area. This is probably the best site to bring it back, so that would be another important element. A couple of primates, the gibbons. Red-shanked duke, we like him because he's got attitude. And then, of course, all these amphibians. The big ones, yes, those are the ones you push forward. But the real value here is this incredible number of other species behind it. They're all enriching the story as we go. Threats, well, the forest has been logged. It is to a degree degraded. It suffers from intense hunting. Intense. One thing about Vietnam is they eat everything. So the main task here is to fulfill that part of the project which protects the important biodiversity. The other side is also, it's been degraded and illicit logging now. Not well managed, not the proper stuff. I've been a logger myself, so I know what it's about. This is maintaining it in its degraded state. So our job is essentially protect the site, keep the trees growing, and maintain its incredible richness in terms of wildlife. It is a richer story than you would imagine. So that's basically it from me. I hope I've passed the message on. The whole point here is feel comfortable. You can go out with your paper lines and you can be absolutely confident that what you are saying is actually being delivered. And if you want to know more, we will provide you with however much you want. So thank you. I think it's time to pass on.